Hi, my name is Ophi YouTube Videos. I am a feminist and a lesbian, and I make conversational commentary videos about both of those things. A lot of those videos have ended up being about what I call the misogyny slop ecosystem, a content model that encourages the worst and most sexist impulses in both its creators and their audience. I think today's story is definitely still an offshoot of this, even if it's more so feeling fandom driven than it is bot campaign driven. I mean, the whole thing that makes this an ecosystem and not just a series of psyops is how some of these cases do happen at least somewhat organically. So, on Halloween of this year, 2025, Kayla Nicole posted videos and pictures of her costume. She dressed as Toni Braxton in a dress most recently worn by the singer herself and sang along to the song He Wasn't Man Enough, the clip showcasing some of the lyrics to the song. What are you thinking? Did you know about us back then? Do you know I dumped your husband, girlfriend? I'm not thinking about him, but you married him. Do you know I made him leave? Do you know he begged to stay with me? He wasn't man enough for me. And because everything that happens on the internet must be reduced down to a petty and problematic girl fight, this was taken by many as shots fired. She was shading Taylor Swift, people would say. For what it's worth, which isn't much to the people really married to this narrative, Kayla would later say that this was not the intention behind her costume. She simply admires Toni Braxton and wanted to dress up as an artist she looks up to for Halloween.
And I thought this was interesting too because I saw this on social media. Like, you guys don't want celebrities, and I air quote that because am I a celebrity? Like, I didn't know that I was in the celebrity category. But according to y'all, you don't want celebrities to dress up as other celebrities, and I'm confused because what am I supposed to do? Be a doctor? Superwoman? If you told me right now, gun to my head, what Superwoman wears, I wouldn't even be able to tell you a signature thing that she wears or does, or like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta stay in my lane, and my lane is pop culture. And Toni Braxton is an iconic woman in pop culture, in R&B history. That lady is a legend. So yeah, Toni Braxton was at the top of the list. If it wasn't gonna be Toni, it was gonna be Beyonce. And the only reason it wasn't Beyonce was because I just couldn't figure out which look. I was overwhelmed.
I believe Kayla when she gives her reasoning for this costume, both because I make a concentrated effort to take women at their word when they're being forced into the center of some ridiculous drama girl fight narrative, and also because I think that she would have had very similar backlash directed at her if she had dressed up as Beyonce like she said she wanted to. The sort of Taylor Swift fans who are attacking her now, the kind who are primed to view everything as a dig at Taylor Swift, would have said that this was clearly a reference to their favorite pop star on account of Kanye West referencing Beyonce when he interrupted Taylor at the VMAs, and I would have thought that was stupid also. And not just because there are clearly so many reasons somebody would want to dress up as Beyonce. I'm curious how many people who are attacking Kayla for her Halloween costume this year even know that she did a Halloween costume last year that was similarly high concept.
I give him so much love and credit because he actually shot my costume last year when I dressed up as Sierra. Y'all go check that out. Because when I tell you, I'm trying to step it up every year. Every year I'm trying to raise the bar. I'm trying to be the Heidi Klum of Halloween, but on like a performance side. She dresses up in all the crazy costumes, and I'm trying to get to like the Beyonce level. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming now. I'm telling you, like I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm a bit of a ham. I do enjoy being in front of the camera, especially if I get to get full glam, put on a fire dress, oil my body down, and I get to perform. You guys, I need you guys to pick up on that a little bit quicker. You guys think that it's a game, and it's not for me. Like, this is my time to shine, and I'm gonna take it every year. Every year you're gonna see me doing my absolute best on Halloween.
The people who are very dedicated to hating Kayla Nicole, some of them who have been doing this, I think, since before there was a Swiftie angle to it at all, have also taken issue with her previous Halloween costumes. The one she just referenced, and when she dressed up as Tiana Taylor. And that seems like, again, a lot of dumb bullshit that I think is stupid. I am so uninterested in laundering these not a girl's girl allegations against Kayla that I don't even want to bother telling you why people think this. They just follow a similar pattern to the issue people are picking with her 2025 costume, insisting that these costumes where she dresses up as iconic black women must have something to do with a man somebody can find in common somewhere in their dating history or something, labeling her as attention-seeking and messy, rather than just either celebrating the craft of these costumes and her posts in them or ignoring her altogether. Kayla spoke a bit about the backlash this time around on that podcast episode.
As with anything, I think that people will try to project their own narratives, right? But for me personally, I am, and I think it's very important to say this in this moment, I am not in the business of tearing other women down. I'm in the business of celebrating them. And for me, this moment was about celebrating an icon in my culture, someone that I have listened to since I was very, very young. Because, oh my gosh, the video is a classic as well. Please go watch the video because it's a gag. It is a gag. Y'all, also, if you listen to the lyrics of the song and then you watch the video, storytelling at its finest. And you might be surprised at the ending as well, okay? Clock that. Clock that, babe. But yes, shout out to Toni Braxton. You guys, she commented on my post. And I feel like that in itself, I feel like I won Halloween. Cheers to Halloween 2025.
This probably won't surprise you given what we always end up talking about on this channel, but from this incredibly hot and, in my opinion, completely benign Instagram costume, people have run with all sorts of narratives about Kayla Nicole. This is something they've been doing for the entirety of the Travis-Taylor relationship. And while I'm sure that as a famous black woman it is nothing new for Kayla for people to project their own narratives and issues onto her, I do have to imagine that the scale of it ever since Taylor Swift entered the picture is something that would be incredibly difficult for anyone to deal with. Every post she makes, everything she says, everything she has said and posted in the past that people can dig up, all gets churned up and used in the misogyny slop ecosystem. I'm asked to care that she once posted something on Travis's birthday that sounds like Taylor Swift lyrics if you squint and tilt your head. I'm asked to care about narratives that she is attention seeking, which is her job as an influencer, that she isn't over Travis, that she's trying to squeeze in and ruin his relationship with Taylor or something. I'm constantly asked to believe the worst faith interpretations possible of a woman who, frankly, seems to mostly mind her own business and who I wouldn't blame if she didn't do that. I think it's just unmistakably true that the way Kayla has been treated both by Swifties and the general media ecosystem is unfair. I don't think that the Toni Braxton costume itself even is messy, but I think that it would be beyond reasonable to get a little bit messy in this sort of situation once everybody else has already messed it up for you. Kayla never asked for her long-term ex-boyfriend to enter into the most famous celebrity couple in the country, or to play the bitter ex character when he did. I think she gets to have whatever feelings about that she might have, and that Taylor Swift does not stand to be actively harmed by any of them. And yet, of course, the narrative is still being projected onto Kayla anyway. She is still forced to play that role she didn't ask for. This isn't even something that I can blame entirely on the parasocial and embarrassing nature of Swifties, as though they're some uncontrollable force. I know I've been hesitant in previous Taylor Swift videos about what sometimes feels like an outsized expectation for her to control her fanbase in ways that aren't always expected of other singers. But to be just completely real, I think it would be pretty ridiculous post Life of a Showgirl to pretend like Taylor has done as little asking for this narrative as Kayla has. In the song Opalite, one of at least 3 songs in Taylor Swift's discography where she uses the same "it was sad and dark before and now I'm happy and it's this other color" metaphor, because she just rewrites it for each new boyfriend, there are lyrics that are taken pretty directly as digs at Kayla Nicole, and they are explained for the listener directly on the Genius lyrics page. When you mouse over "you were in it for real and she was in her phone and you were just a pose," Genius lyrics offers up, "This line is likely about Kayla Nicole, an influencer and former girlfriend of Travis Kelce, who's Swift's fiance at the time of writing the song. During Nicole's relationship with Kelce, there were claims that Kayla used their relationship to boost her social media popularity. The lyrics explicitly refers to being with someone whose attention is focused on their phone, and with this track being Travis's favorite on the album, it's likely inspired by that experience." I usually quite like Genius lyrics, but I'm frequently really annoyed by which pieces are considered relevant by community contributors to Taylor Swift songs. Like, could this not have just been spoken more generally? Could we not have just said the lyric seems to reference prior partners to the person being sung about? Did we have to attach a real woman to this? I mean, I guess the answer is yes. This is part of what I come back to a lot with Taylor Swift, the way that her real life as a celebrity is incorporated into the understandings of her work, the paternity testing of love songs, and the mad dash to figure out who the angry songs are about. This has been a part of Taylor Swift's way of crafting narratives about herself pretty much from the start, from the days of hiding names in capital letters in amongst her liner notes. That doesn't make it any less annoying or frustrating, but it does make it part of her deal. And honestly, it's made a little bit more annoying and frustrating because it isn't even just the non specifics being referenced in the community contributions to the Genius lyrics page here, not in terms of the way other people are bringing up what this song must be about and what Taylor has hinted that it's about by doing such specific diggy lyrics. And as I often end up doing, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull from my friend Medusini here.
So this is while they were dating. I guess this is, I don't know, her Instagram.
Drink the wine so we can go.
I love it here. Like if sometimes someone would pay me attention, I wouldn't have to go on social media.
Get off your phone.
I wouldn't have to get on social media and seek validation from a bunch of strangers on the internet.
Drinking your wine anymore.
Now, whatever's happening in their relationship here, I don't know. Maybe this was a running issue between the two of them and he was sick of it and they had a bad moment. I don't know. I can't judge the relationship. I wasn't in it. But what I see from this video is that he's being very aggressive toward her. He's getting in her face, and then he's like grabbing the phone out of her hand. It's very weird. Like, just the video itself is bad. He looks bad in it.
And he's not comfortable getting in her face like that with a camera around. Like, with a camera, he knows the camera is on him. I hate this guy. I hate this guy.
And here's the thing too, is that, again, whatever's happening in the relationship, I can't judge. But I can look at the video and say what I see, and the way that other people were portraying it, everyone was very immediately defensive toward Travis in a way that it's a little uncomfortable.
I don't even have anything negative to say about Kayla from this video, but if I did, the worst I could come up with would be that it looks like she's tipsy. And if I have to choose between somebody who looks like they're tipsy in a way that is making them interact with their phone and their online followers, and somebody who is tipsy in a way that is making him get in a woman's face like that, I know who I'm siding with. It's very strange to me that a lot of people don't know who to side with in that situation.
So like this one, this caption says, Travis Kelce showed strain with his ex-girlfriend. Intense resurface video. It's like, that's a little underplaying it. It's not just like strain in their relationship. He's being aggressive. There's like, Travis Kelce begs his girlfriend to put down her phone. Is he begging her or is he telling her? The response that Kayla Nicole received from that video felt kind of racist, that people were just immediately jumping to defend the white man. And then for Taylor to then reference that video in her song, where she's definitely taking Travis aside, and I understand why she would take Travis aside, because that's her fiance, so like she's only heard about that incident and their entire relationship from his perspective, so I get it, but it's like, but did you need to reference the thing that everyone saw? Did you need to reference the thing that was public and that she was already receiving a lot of judgment and a lot of hate for? So it's like, you're just kind of setting his ex-girlfriend up for harassment, which is already very weird for you to do just as Taylor Swift, as a person who's like more famous than really anyone could be. But then especially like as a white woman against a black woman, it's weird. It's really weird. Like, you could have used any other example in that verse about like how unsatisfying his previous relationships were. You could have used any other example that didn't reference something that was like already a part of public discourse, because that is just, it is making the song about Kayla Nicole in a way that it didn't need to be. It could have been way more vague. You just don't need to put Easter eggs in there for a real woman. So I don't think that she meant to make this like race metaphor in the chorus, but I understand why people read it that way, because she's the one that brought Kayla Nicole into the context of the song.
Yeah, this was not a video clip I was previously aware of, and I agree. I agree with what Jasmin said. I agree that Taylor Swift essentially started it here. And, you know, sure, there would have been fans of hers and of Travis who would be shitty and racist toward Kayla Nicole either way. But it's pretty unmistakable to me that Taylor has done nothing to try to mitigate the effect that a song like this adding fuel to the fire would add to the racist and sexist harassment that Kayla receives. Discord messages have been leaked of Swifties in a private server saying some truly vile, awful shit about Kayla. Just an entire private Discord to go be racist in, to talk about how much better off Travis Kelce is now, how they say they can't imagine what he was thinking when he was with Kayla, as if we can't all see this woman. As if we can't all see this beautiful woman, by the way. And I want to note too here that I understand what a pain spot this and much of Taylor and Travis's relationship could be for women of color and black women in particular, and that I'm not the one who's most qualified to speak to the way that Travis Kelce has previously appropriated black culture but has settled down into this white bread Americana relationship with Taylor, as a white bread woman myself. But I do think that that's one of many more than fair critiques to make of Football Man and of the place that the relationship the pop star is in with him takes in our popular culture. And I can't say with any certainty whether or not this was a result of the private racist Discord servers of particularly upset Swifties or just some racist who was bored. Some combination of the three feels most likely. But I want to talk about something else that happened following Kayla's Halloween costume, which was when a bunch of internet sleuths dug back to around 2010 in order to find problematic posts on her Twitter account. These were circulated and then widely reported on the week after Halloween, especially when Kayla deleted the entire X account a couple of days into this deluge of harassment. And yeah, these were shitty and racist posts. They were also 10 to 15 years ago. As my friend Marty put it, these tweets are old enough to have a learner's permit. It's so infuriatingly disingenuous to pull up this kind of thing to attempt to make some negative mark on her character now, and it's really transparent to me that this is one of many tearing other women down in order to build Taylor Swift up things that happen again and again in her fandom. I don't need to defend Kayla Nicole's racist or problematic tweets and pretend like they weren't that bad to find the timing of them being dug up and circulated incredibly suspicious. I'm not saying that it was okay for her to tweet or speak like this, but I am saying that there seem to have been some clear ulterior motives behind this call out. It's also just stunningly hypocritical. Taylor and Travis have excellent and surely very expensive PR, which means if you see anything about Travis Kelce's old tweets now from a similar time period, they're most likely the silly, goofy ones that people giggle about, where he didn't know how to spell squirrel. Not, the tweets where he uses the R slur, cries about being attacked by so-called ugly girls, or says some deeply misogynistic or fatphobic bullshit. Like, you know that the people who are digging this shit up about Kayla are doing so in service of the Travis and Taylor relationship and public image. Or for at least some participants in this, maybe they are really truly just doing it because they hate a black woman and wanted to tear her down, whether or not they're willing to admit to themselves that that's their motivation. And also, if you're curious, after Travis Kelce's tweets were reported on, he just quietly deleted them, where Kayla faced it head on, apologizing this week in an Instagram post that reads, "I want to take a moment to sincerely apologize for the hurtful tweets I posted so many years ago. Seeing them resurface last week has been incredibly difficult, and reading them now, I'm ashamed that I ever thought or spoke that way. They were ignorant, hurtful, and completely wrong. The woman I am today would never use those words or express those kinds of views. Over the years, I've seen firsthand how cruel and harmful online hate can be, and I would never want to add to that world of pain in any form. I have since deleted those tweets and my X account entirely because I refuse to keep that energy alive or contribute to a cycle of hate. I take full responsibility for what I posted, and I'm truly sorry to anyone I may have hurt. My heart, values, and perspective are completely rooted in empathy, love, and respect for others. I can't change the past, but I will continue showing through my actions who I've become and what I stand for today." I'll admit that I don't know a ton about Kayla Nicole, but I enjoyed myself watching her podcast episode, and I admire her apology and her willingness to tackle the things that she has said in the past. The whole point of this video is just that I'm very frustrated to see the way that she is forcibly included into a narrative that she never asked to be part of. I'm frustrated with the ways that Taylor Swift not only set her up for this, but hasn't stepped in to say anything about it. There are a lot of things Taylor Swift declines to comment on that really undermine not only her previous Miss Americana image, but also my ability to defend her. And this is one of many places right now where a simple statement from Taylor could likely greatly alter the narrative around Kayla in at least some of these shitty corners of Taylor's fandom. I also just have to say, in the interest of fairness, despite the fact that I don't even believe that this costume was an intentional reference to or dig at Taylor Swift, even if it was, I would not give a shit. As I've already mentioned, Taylor fired the first shot here by so clearly referencing Kayla in Opalite. I am of the firm belief that Taylor Swift is a big girl and she can fight her own battles and pick her own fights. She's been willing to make reference to not wanting her audience to go after someone before, around the time of her re-recordings, which makes a lot of people assume that it was specifically about John Mayer. Not now, though, not after seemingly directly referencing Kayla on Life of a Showgirl. And I think that's shitty. I think that if Kayla decided to dress up as boring Barbie for Halloween, that would be fine. I would have just thought that it was funny. I wouldn't have done think pieces about her attacking Taylor Swift. I wouldn't have gotten mad on Taylor's behalf. I wouldn't have gone digging for old shitty tweets of Kayla's. I would have simply laughed and called her iconic. I do pretty highly doubt that anyone watching this video actively participated in the harassment campaign against Kayla Nicole. I don't think that's the exact flavor of Taylor Swift listener I attract, but it is certainly a kind of listener that she attracts. But if that kind of Taylor Swift listener were watching my video, I would tell them how deeply fucking embarrassing I find this sort of behavior from my fellow white people. I would tell them that I think that they are shitty and racist and probably unfamiliar with Toni Braxton in the first place, and I would remind them what an awful and shitty look it is to go so hard to tear down and reputationally damage a black woman, villainize her for a perceived proximity to Taylor Swift and her jock fiancé, and especially to do so in big 2025, the year of Sydney Sweeney being praised for her good genes in an American Eagle ad. I think that Kayla should be far more protected from the cultural narratives being projected onto her than she is. And I think as a woman with some of the most privilege in the entire world, Taylor Swift is in fact sort of obligated to do at least a little bit of that protecting. I'm sure that Kayla still would have faced racist and sexist harassment for being the ex-girlfriend of America's sweetheart's boyfriend or whatever, no matter what, but I'm also sure that Opalite made it worse. This also just all sucks because I imagine the last month or so has not been particularly easy for Kayla. I don't like looking at the calendar and realizing what a run of shit she's had to deal with in the last month. Taylor's album release and all that heightened scrutiny on Kayla, the response to her Halloween costume, the recirculation of her old tweets, all of that with her birthday falling in the middle of this on the second day of the month, it makes me feel really awful for her. And there's very little, if anything, I could possibly even do about any of it, other than to say here in the place where I get to talk about things that I feel really awful for her. I think Kayla should be left out of all of this, and I'm not going to be impressed by whatever comments might get left on this video where the commenter lists a bunch of reasons that somebody else collated for them about why they decided to dislike Kayla. I don't care. I can't be persuaded to care. My energy is much better spent elsewhere, and so is yours. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being mindful about what narratives you consume and perpetuate about women on the internet. Thank you also to my lovely Patreon subscribers, a few of whose names you can see on the screen right now. Patreon is a great way to help support me financially, and you get a couple of extra videos a month over there. I like doing reaction content for upcoming videos. Thank you also to my YouTube channel members and to everyone who has helped support me financially, whether through coffee, one-time donations, and super thanks. All of that makes such a huge difference. I'm really grateful to be able to do this as my job, even when I don't have the spoons to comment on Halloween-related drama until long after the holiday is over with. I love you. I'll be back soon. We're going to talk about Raven Simone's podcast. You might have missed my most recent video because it got age restricted, so also maybe check that out if you haven't yet. Bye.